Michael Wright was born on November 11, 1948. He served in the Army during the Vietnam War. His highest rank was Specialist Fifth Class. Wright was born in Reading Hospital in Reading, Pennsylvania. As a kid, Wright's parents were also in the Army. His mother was a WAC, which is the female version of the Army. His father put aerials on rooftops. Wright said, "My parents influenced me on deciding to join the Army because my parents were both in the Army. We have a relation that dates back to the Civil War." He grew up in Reading, PA, and attended Wilson High School. He graduated from there in 1966 and went off to Vietnam in 1968. Wright was not drafted into the Army. After high school, he enlisted into the United States Army. He then volunteered to go over to Vietnam because he thought that that's where he was heading anyway. When he got everything ready and was ready to leave, he headed off to Fort Benning. Wright said, "I went through basic training at Fort Benning. Then I went through advanced jungle training. At Fort Benning, there were many people there that he got close to. We asked, 'Did you meet a lot of friends at Fort Benning?' And he responded saying, 'Acquaintances. I mean, I don't know there are any of them that I talk to right now.' Then from Fort Benning, he went off to Fort Lewis, Washington. Wright was never actually stationed there. It was just a stopping point from the United States to Vietnam. From Fort Lewis, he flew to Anchorage, then to Okinawa. In Okinawa, they picked up all their gear, rifles, and other weapons, then into Cameron Bay on May 19th. Wright's job in the Army was a 63 H-20, heavy equipment maintenance. He was not a ground pounder, he just fixed up vehicles that needed to be fixed for the soldiers. His job was to fix the vehicles as soon as possible if they broke down or something went wrong. Then he flew to Fort Meade in Maryland. While he was in Fort Meade, he fixed up heavy equipment and worked on trucks. Wright told us that he didn't know too many people that fought in combat, but he knew a few. Wright had one close bud that he still keeps in touch with that lives in Pennsylvania. Wright said he had a lot of fun being in the war and part of something so phenomenal. In his spare time, he said that there wasn't a lot to do, so they jetted. In his spare time at Fort Meade in Maryland, he came home to Pennsylvania because it was only about 2.5-hour drive. And in the summer at Fort Meade, he was a TTY, temporary tour of duty. But at other places and forts in the United States, they just sat around and talked with each other. Michael said that he saw a lot of combat going on in Vietnam. Him and his crew took a lot of small arm fire with them, and they saw a lot of going around them. They weren't hit, but there was shooting and small bombing going on. He didn't remember seeing anyone dying, but they used to clog up their convoys. They would hit the lead truck, so it would just clog the whole thing up. But most of the combat they saw was on the road on the back of a gun truck. He was awarded the Vietnam Campaign Medal. That was a medal that was awarded to the veterans that took part in the war that was actually in Vietnam. Being in the Army changed Wright a lot. As he said, "Well, you turned from a wise-ass little kid at 18 from when you first joined the Army to learn to take care of yourself." He said he doesn't really miss being in the Army, but if he had the chance to go over to Iraq or Afghanistan, he would go in a second. We asked Wright if he had any advice that he would give to young men and women that were joining the Army. He said, "I would encourage anyone to join the armed forces." Thinking back on it, Wright says, "I could kick myself in the butt for not doing the 20-year plan in the Army." He said it can do a lot for you. He told us that they got treated really badly when they came home from Vietnam. Some of his buddies told him that they got spit on by other people. And a woman that was visiting next to him on the plane back home asked the person working on the plane if she could get moved so she didn't have to sit next to him. Everyone would just be saying sly remarks to them, mean and nasty things. They told him that it would be safer if they wore just civilian clothes so that it wouldn't be as bad for them. Since he had been out of the Army, he now works on laser and thermal printers, but that hasn't been his only job since he's been out of the Army. We asked if working with mechanics in the Army helped his job when he got out of the Army. Wright replied saying, "Yeah, I worked at a Jeep dealership for a little while, but I think that was the last mechanic job I had. Then I moved to Atlanta." He was in Atlanta for a couple years, moved to Galveston for a year and a half, and was up in Houston for a year. Then he was in Tucson, Phoenix, LA, back to Phoenix, and then back to Pennsylvania. He was a pretty busy man since he's been out of the Army. He said all the maintenance and things he learned helped him to get a job when he got back. He worked at a Jeep dealership for a while, and he still works with trucks and stuff. He said that people now are treated different than he was when he was in the Army. They were treated with a lot more respect than him and his crew was. Vietnam War veterans were not treated with respect back then. People thought of them as baby killers. But he said that it was a good thing that the current veterans are treated with more respect because they are in a more complicated situation than what they were in back then. That was then, this is now, says Wright. Baby, when I miss like one step forward and two steps back, no matter what I do, you're always mad. And baby, I'm sorry to see, maybe we're not meant to be. It's never enough to say I'm sorry. It's never enough to say I care. But I'm caught between